Hi, and welcome to Western Culture Explained, brought to you by the National Taichung University of Science and Technology Language Center. I'm your host, Martin. Today, we are going to talk about guns in America. What do you think about Americans and their love of firearms? How many Americans do you think own a gun? How many guns are in civilian hands? Why are America's gun laws so loose? I will answer these questions in today's lesson.
There is nothing more confusing about America to foreigners than America's gun culture. For starters, the right of an individual to own a firearm is written into the U.S. Constitution. It's called the Second Amendment. It states, "A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed." Why did the framers of the Constitution write this? The short answer is that they were worried about a tyrannical central government that would use its military power to oppress the states and the people. They didn't want the federal government to have too much military power. Military power would be divided between the federal government and the states. Each state would form a militia. A militia is a citizen army made of regular people who train once or twice a year and are only called to serve in the event of a crisis. They are part-time soldiers, not a professional army. So, in order to have a militia, you must have armed citizens. Of course, a lot has changed since the Constitution was written. Today, the federal government has a lot of military power. The old militia system is gone, and the reasons supporting the Second Amendment have changed. It's no longer about defending the states. It's about defending yourself. You may be surprised to hear that only about 1 in 3 Americans own a gun. So a majority of Americans do not have a gun. However, there are over 300 million guns in civilian hands. That means that most gun owners own multiple guns. Gun culture has grown over the past 20 years or so. Organizations like the NRA have promoted gun ownership and gun culture. They spend billions a year lobbying government to loosen gun laws. In some states, it is legal to carry a concealed weapon without a license. You could walk down the street with a gun on your belt and no one will stop you. You can even carry a gun into a bar in South Carolina. Some states want to allow teachers to carry guns in schools. Gun owners are very passionate about their right to carry a gun. But why? The politics of culture is the answer. Generally speaking, culturally conservative people support gun rights, whereas culturally liberal people support gun regulation. They vote for different parties and try to advance their ideas through politics. Debates can get pretty emotional. America has some of the worst gun violence of any developed country. In 2017, over 14,000 people were murdered with a firearm. Liberals want to reduce gun-related deaths through stricter regulation. Conservatives view gun ownership as a part of their identity, so any attack on gun rights is an attack on them.
Well, now is the part of the video where I give some personal experience. I grew up in a house with guns. Most of them were for sport. When I was 13 years old, my dad gave me my first shotgun, which is a kind of rite of passage where I am from. To me, guns are nothing special. They're just a tool, a very dangerous tool that can hurt people. but I don't obsess over them. But some people in America do, and this is part of the problem. Americans are so divided on the issue that they cannot come together to make a common sense policy on guns. That's why America's gun laws are so crazy. Now, I know some of you have watched the news and are probably planning on going to America and are very, very frightened that you might just get shot while walking down the street. I assure you such cases are very, very rare. Most of the gun deaths in America are actually suicides, not murders, and most of the gun murders are very concentrated in certain neighborhoods, which is a whole nother issue that I won't get into on today's video. Maybe I'll make another video about the crime rate. Well, anyway, if you're worried about being shot while visiting the United States, I assure you it's not as dangerous as you think it is. That being said, America does have some pretty stupid gun laws that need to be changed. That's my opinion anyway. All right, well, thank you for watching. I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.